So there's a new motion out for R. Kelly. It was actually filed yesterday. Now, Steve Greenberg had put in a new motion for bail. This all has something to do with the attack that had occurred in the prison. Now, I want to make some things clear here about the attack and the protest rally that was going on. First and foremost, the protest itself is a wonderful thing. The rally is a wonderful thing. Keep doing you guys. Always consistently just do that. As far as it being done in front of the MCC, maybe not. This is the problem. And this is what Steve Greenberg had said. Had it had been people out there protesting against R. Kelly, the folks from the jail would have probably went out there and offered them bottles of water.
Right. If there were people saying lock R. Kelly up, my guess is that the institution would be going out there and giving them bottled water and encouraging them.
Also, they don't have to put people on shutdown when there's a rally or a protest going on outside. It happens all the time. They shouldn't have to do it. But in the case of R. Kelly, they are doing that. They are putting folks on shutdown. And what happens is it makes other inmates furious with the fact that they can't do the normal things that they normally do. You know, it's bad enough they're in a cell, right? They're secluded to just four walls and a gate in front of them. So it's kind of like they're already in a bad state of mind. But then to tell them they're on lockdown puts them in a even worse state of mind. So it's kind of like, is it a conspiracy that's going on here where they do that on purpose just so the inmates would be mad at R. Kelly? My suggestion to those who decide to protest, there is another protest and rally coming up in New York on September 28th. They're going to have one. So anyways, that's just for you guys to know. Anyone who supports R. Kelly or wants to support R. Kelly, if you're willing to make that trip, I think it's going to happen regardless. Again, it's on September 28th. Now, for the people who want to protest and rally in front of the MCC, I'd say hold off. Just because, like, don't hold off your protest and rally, but they're in front of the MCC. Just because we don't want R. Kelly to suffer or keep getting beat up because the jail decides they want to put the inmates on lockdown. Because that's what's essentially happening. Now, the person who had attacked R. Kelly, they said he had a tattoo on his arm that said, "Fuck the feds." And then he went into the cell. They said he started kicking R. Kelly while he was asleep. Now, this is Douglas Anton had went in and explained as far as the attack goes.
Went to lay down, and when he fell asleep, one of the other inmates came in and started kicking him in his head while he was asleep. Robert sustained some injuries to his head. His head is swollen, his temple is swollen, and he's in a great deal of pain.
And then after he had explained what the attack did, what happened with the attack, then Steve Greenberg goes in and says, like, they were peacefully protesting. It was not a violent protest at all.
These are people in support of R. Kelly. They are not dangerous. They are peaceful. They march, they chant, they wave. They do absolutely nothing violent
at all. There was technically no need for the prison to put anyone on shutdown. It wasn't like it was like an uproar of folks out there. It was not. So it's kind of like conspiracy to do that to R. Kelly. And it's sad. He has not been found guilty on anything. It's sad he's sitting in there and he has no previous convictions. As we all know, the media is against R. Kelly. Regardless of what is said, done, whatever, we know they are against R. Kelly. Shout out to Court TV, because Court TV, was it Kumo? I forget his first name, but it's Kumo. This guy, he actually brings forth to his platform, a lot of people that actually defend what's going on with R. Kelly. And I'm not going to say defend, I'm going to say speaking on what is right and what is not right as far as the R. Kelly case goes. I have a lot of people who follow me and are subscribed to me, and you probably don't support R. Kelly, and that's fine. But what you guys have learned are a lot of facts to the case that makes you say, wait, why are they doing this to this man? Wait, this don't sound right. That's right, because a lot of folks are going through what they are seeing through mainstream media and the Lifetime documentary. You'll find a lot of inconsistencies with that, and the females in that, or the parents in that. You'll find out a lot of shit going on. So There's an article, it was in the Chicago Tribune. Steve Greenberg had actually reposted it, I guess to let people know what is going on with this case. The article title is R. Kelly's attorney says he was attacked in jail and argue again for his release. It says let's see. Said R. Kelly was attacked while he was sleeping and stomped on his head repeatedly. The general population, this is what R. Kelly's attorneys are saying. They're arguing for his release, and they're saying the general population is not safe for Kelly. His attorneys argue, and thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, there is little chance that he goes to trial anytime soon. Only a third world nation could somebody be held indefinitely without possibility of going to trial. It is un-American. It is illegal. He says if Mr. Kelly cannot be provided with a trial, at a minimum, he should be able to await that trial in a less restrictive environment. So I agree. What's happening now is R. Kelly has been sitting in jail for over a year, since July. It's already September 1st, guys. This man has been sitting in jail since July. Like, oh my goodness. This is not right at all. Between the COVID, the cases being, rescheduled or whatever, it's a lot going on. So now I am getting ready to pull up the document, the actual motion where you have them filing for the bail. It says, now comes the defendant, Robert Kelly, through counsel, and respectfully requests that this court grant him bail pending trial. In support, defendant states as follows. Indefinite imprisonment without charge or trial is anathema in any country which observes the rule of the law. Lord Nichols of Berkshire, in his ruling of 16 December 2014, number 1, it says Mr. Kelly has requested this court grant him bail in his case. With conditions, he proposes living in an apartment a short distance from the courthouse where he will reside with his girlfriend. Electronic monitoring can be utilized to ensure that his whereabouts are always known. He would not be a danger to the community if he were released. He would not be a flight risk. There is zero chance that he would endeavor to obstruct these proceedings in any way. There has been a sea change in the landscape since this court last considered the issue of bail. First and foremost is the pandemic, and this court's candid comments at the recent status hearing that confirmed no one knows when this case can be tried. Regardless of Mr. Kelly's willingness to proceed to trial at the earliest possible moment, the government does not want to bring forth its witnesses. That is not Mr. Kelly's fault. This district's facilities cannot accommodate this trial under the current restrictions. Again, that is not Mr. Kelly's fault. You know what? This is crazy. So, in the motion, it goes further and it goes deeper. He goes in, he puts in a lot of court laws, case laws, I should say. And at the very end, he's just basically goes in. Let me get to the very last page here. And he says, simply put, despite the present allegations, there indeed are conditions of release that can be readily fashioned for Mr. Kelly, an individual who has no previous convictions, that will eliminate nearly any alleged risk of flight or any purpose danger to the community. He can be confined to his home with electronic monitoring, given limited access to the internet, be barred from the contact with minors, and monitored closely by pretrial services. Accordingly, Mr. Kelly must be released, and the conditions of Mr. Kelly's bail and pretrial release should be set. Respectfully submitted, Stephen Greenberg. So there you guys go. That's the motion, the bail motion, just the very beginning and the very end to kind of give you guys an idea of where Steve is aiming on this. But you guys get it. He's filing another bail. So it's not just the pandemic, it's also the attack. And this is just crazy. And as I said previously, the attack happened because the MCC had put them on lockdown. The inmates were put on lockdown. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please list down in the comments your comments. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Till next video.